Streaming health good. Receiving your content. Your audience will see in a moment. Get ready. Okie dokie. Hey, welcome back, folks. Sorry about the internet problems, but they're inevitable. Sometimes they happen. Wi-Fi went down. The whole internet went down. We had to restart the router, but I think we're back up. Yeah, cool. So I am seeing stuff now. Give me a moment to recap on what's going on here. I'm using the Streaming Now beta on YouTube, which isn't a scheduled event, so I'm a little unfamiliar with the interface. Okay, I see. Thank you for all the programs. Oh, so cool. I have the chat open here, so I'll just move this over yonder. Yeah, so this is going to be a different stream as opposed to the event that I had scheduled, which is fine. We'll get things sorted out here momentarily. I just need a minute here to get all my windows cleaned up. Hello, welcome guys back to the stream. Just sorting through all the windows and things. I'll just start in a minute here. Okay, so where I basically left off was talking about how having the audio, the USB audio adapter embedded into the enclosure is good. It's a good concept, but there's a better way to do it. So what I was going to show you guys is this guy here. So this is a regular USB-A female jack. And what this allows you to do is you can now plug in anything you want. You don't have to break apart your USB adapter. You can have USB adapter. You can plug in a USB hub. Or let's say you want Bluetooth audio. You can plug in an adapter there. So this is the audio adapter in its original form with the enclosure, and I have just some powered speakers plugged into the audio jack out there. So when you plug it in, it's not going to work at first. You do have to exit your ROM, and there's a little green LED there that tells you that it's active, and now you can hear the little sound effect. And then I'll just start up this ROM so you guys can hear the audio. This is a lot better, I think, option instead of having you can totally do this option. I'll have two different cases available. There's the audio going, but I really like it so that I can take out audio, plug in a Wi-Fi adapter without having to break open the enclosure. So the way that I put that together is kind of cool. So when you get a power boost from Adafruit, it comes with this little USB female adapter already. So the cool thing about that is you already get this for free, but you do need this little guy. This little guy is the USB to go adapter that plugs into the Pi. So this is a USB micro, and this makes this into a male USB A. And these guys just plug in, or it can plug in like that. But the thing is, you do need to wire the 4 wires to this side and then 4 wires to that side. So you're basically breaking this out and making a wire thing. So that's what I have here. So I think it's a lot better solution to a common problem. So you don't have to break open the case again to get a Wi-Fi adapter in there. So that works really well. So if I break this open, you can see how it's kind of wired. So I have the wires coming out of the USB to go adapter, and then they're wired into this little guy here, the USB female adapter I just showed you guys. And that works really well. The wire doesn't have to be too long. It can be as long as you need to, but I have a little bit longer so that I can take the enclosure apart and still be able to troubleshoot some things. So that's pretty much it. I think that's a really easy solution. I got some wires hanging out there. Keeping your wires nice and tidy is always an important thing. So when you close the enclosure, hopefully you won't have to take it apart again. I just wanted to show you guys it like that. So that's pretty straightforward. Now the way I got it mounted into the case was a little interesting. So let me switch over to CAD just to show you guys what that looks like, and we'll just have the audio in the background. Whoa, I'm cut off here. My face is all cut off. Let's see if I can fix that real quick. No, I can't. That's funny. I'm not sure why that is. Let me see if I can. There you go. Let me see if I can fix this real quick, guys. Sorry about that. Everything's all breaking. So anyway, I'm here in Fusion, and I wanted to show you guys how I got it mounted in there. So this is a new component that I made. It's let me open the component too. So it's just I just took measurements of this girl here, the female USB-A adapter. I modeled it in Fusion, so it's just a little add-on component. It's got an interesting sort of geometry here. It's got like this little back thing here, and it's got this flange out, so you have to make sure that you can fit in the case. But I didn't wire up I didn't model the little I guess the little pins or whatever you want to call it, the terminal leads. I didn't model those out, but that's pretty much the overall shape of it. So when I put it in the enclosure, I had to figure out a good way. So I put it in places where the audio used to be, and let me show you inside here how it is. I'll just hide all these components. Show and hide. Okay, so here it is. So the way it's mounted is it has these little clips here and a little ledge so that it can stay in place. I haven't glued it in place, but that's probably eventually what I want to do. But I don't, you might not want to do that because it's already in place pretty good. And what the little thing does at the bottom here is it prevents it from, when you pull out the USB cable, this little mount thing here, the little platform, keeps it from sort of coming out. So that's really nice. And then there's enough clearance here for the pens to stick out of. So it's pretty straightforward. You have to insert it at an angle so that you can get the flange inside the little area here. But that's what it looks like. No supports or anything needed for this. And yeah, that again, this little lip here, these two faces keep the component in place as you pull out the enclosure. Now I've only tested this out for a good day or so. With a lot of mechanical stress, I'm wondering how well this is going to work out. Like, is this going to break or anything? So far, it hasn't. And if you put a little bit of glue or something, you'll insulate it anyway. You can insulate the leads. So that's pretty much how I have it working. Again, it works really well. And I'm going to have, of course, two different options. So here's the audio version of it. So I still have that case. And if you guys haven't seen me in part 6, I show you guys how I modeled this and put it in. And this works out really well. These two little clip things here keep this in place too. And then I just tacked it down with a little bit of mounting tack, and that stayed in really well. Yeah, so it was quick to change, from that to this option. But I really think this option is going to work a lot better, because then you're not just limiting to one USB audio adapter. You can have several different peripherals plugged in. So that's pretty much it. I think this project is coming to a close. I have sent out version 2 of the PCBs, the gamepad PCBs for the D-pad and the game buttons, and they're the exact same PCB. So I modeled it in a way so that you can reuse this PCB for other projects and for the left and the right. So the left being the D-pad, the right being the action buttons here. So the exact same PCB, and there's just little breakout headers things, and I'll actually show them to you right now. So let me jump over to the overhead thing. Here are them. This is version A of it, and it worked really well. But just version B, I wanted to have some better silkscreen graphics and stuff. Let's see if I can get a better lighting on this. Give me a second, folks. There you go. A little bit better lighting. So it's pretty basic. You have some pins up here, and the traces all route to them, and they're labeled. So ground, you get 2 grounds. You get see if I can show you. Yeah, there you go. So you get 2 grounds. You get button 1, button 2, button 3, button 4, and the graphics. Oh, come on, derp. There you go. So you get a labeling, so you know where which button is going to go where. So instead of putting left, up, down, right, I have it just button 1 through 4 so that you can reuse the same PCB, and it's sort of generic and generalized, so you can use the buttons as you are. You do have to wire it on the sort of backwards, so like the buttons will be facing this way, and then you have to sort of be like, okay, well, left is right and right is left. So I'll of course denote all this in the guide that we're working on. So these are version 1. Version 2 is the same stuff, but just with more graphics on it. So I'll probably start on the guide throughout this week and start taking photos of the assembly and stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, I can go over the components real quick. For the screen, it's the 2.2 Pi TFT, and you do have to break a trace here. This is 18 pin 18. You have to kind of cut that. If you've built any other PiGRRLs before, you're probably familiar with cutting that trace, because when you don't have it cut, when you tie a button to it, it'll turn this screen off. So you do have to cut that. So the Pi Zero is so one thing that I don't like about it, but you kind of can't avoid it, is that you do have to solder in a header directly into this to keep it as thin as possible, right? So if you put headers, or if you put like male and female headers in, it's going to make it like that thick, something like that. So you do have to solder this directly together. But you do have all these pinouts, and that's what's wired into the buttons. So you have a bunch of different GPIOs here, and we pretty much use all of them, with the exception of these guys here. These don't get used up, and they're available there too. But since they're already down here, we don't need to use them again. So that's pretty much it there. Those are the components. It's using a 2,000 milliamp battery, which will give you about 2 or 3 hours of game time, depending on what you're playing and how long you're playing it. So yeah. I also have some new PCBs that I made on the other mill, which are just like the same thing, but they're curvy and double-sided. So I've been experimenting with doing double-sided PCBs. See if you can see that. Yeah, so it's pretty simple, but just curvy traces is all. Yeah. So that's it there. Got audio. That's the latest progress from PiGRRL. Again, the project is going to be wrapping up the project, so I'm going to start on the guide and things like that. And I guess I'll take any questions now on it. This was just going to be like a short live stream just to show you guys what the progress is. Let me see if I can get this back here a little bit closer. Oh yeah, the darker you go, the better the screen looks like on the overhead. That's one of those things. Like, I wish I had a polarizer for this webcam. Okay, so one other thing I wanted to share with you guys real quick now that I see the window open. So the buttons, right? A lot of people have been asking, where can we get some better button options? So if you look here, I found quite a few different buttons on AliExpress. And if you type in the search term silicone button switch, you can find a bunch of them. Now, these aren't exactly the same size, but they should have the same footprint. So the buttons we're using are 4 millimeter by 4 millimeter by, I think, 5 or 6 millimeter on the stem. And these are silent rubber silicone buttons. They're silent, and you can pick up, like, I guess a pack of 20 of them for $5, which is pretty good. But you do have to wait quite a minute to get them. I think it takes like 15 to 25 days. It says it ships out within 5 days, but it does take this long. So it takes a minute to get these guys. And they're pretty inexpensive. I think they're coming straight from China. Yeah, so here we go. 7 by 8. Now, there is enough room in the footprint on the PCBs for these to fit. So I'm going to experiment with these and see if they work out good or not. Because the other ones I got had like just 2 leads, and they didn't work out so well. Oh, they work out, but it's a little bit of a hassle to get the 2 leads to fit and bend the things in the right way. So there are so many different ones. That's a nicer photo of it, but I think they're all the same thing. They're just a little bit bigger. So this one's 8 by 8. This one was 7 by 8. So it's like 2 millimeters off. I don't know. So I'm not sure which one I'm gonna buy. But they look pretty cool, and they should work out hopefully good. You have to make sure that the stem is 5 millimeters. I'm not sure what the stem is here. I think it tells you here though in the thing. Yeah, it's 5 millimeters. Perfect. Yeah. So either of these would work really well. Yeah. Again, just go to AliExpress and search for silicone button switch, and you'll get quite a few of them. This is the ones that I actually bought, or they at least look like it. They have a different footprint. Again, you don't want the footprint where it has just 2 feet. You want those 4 feet because then it'll fit perfectly in the PCB. Yep. And they're through hole, not surface mount. So that's another thing. But there's just quite a few of them. So kind of hard to find, but here they are. So there's the button situation. If you want silent buttons, you'll have to kind of source them out yourself. We're still trying to find some good ones too. So that's still happening. And now I think that's everything I wanted to share. I'm sorry I'm rushing. It's just a little bit of a hassle with the internet connection going off. That totally threw me way off. So I'm just going to take a look at the chat now and see if you guys have any questions. Let me bring this over here. Yes, the system kind of crashed. I'm starting from the beginning, so yep. Nate is asking, what about a bump on the back for a 2 to 3 port USB hub? Still ergonomic, more options. This could be powered by the self battery. Yeah, I looked at getting a USB hub inside the enclosure. I couldn't find a good one that had just two ports. The one that we have in the Adafruit shop has 3 and it has like an Ethernet jack. And it's going to be more work, and I really want to finish the project, and I want to minimize as many steps as possible for this. So I really think this is going to be a good solution. So you can just plug in a USB hub into the USB female jack on the bottom here. So hopefully that works out well for everyone. I dig that USB design too, though. Yeah, awesome. I'm glad you do. It really, really makes a good solution to a sort of a difficult problem. Okay, so Mega Firebird 22. I'm currently busy with making my own Super Game Pi, but extended. One of these is to have both speakers and the audio jack for earbuds. I use the audio jack from your website, but when I enter the earbuds, the speakers get noisy. This is probably because the speakers don't get any audio signal. Do you know how I can solve this? I posted this question up on the forums. I think somebody has already solved this problem. There's a couple of different ways to go about it. But definitely post up your question on the forums. We have a dedicated support team. It's forums.adafruit.com. And yeah, there's definitely some different options out there to fix it. But off the top of my head, I'm not sure. Some people have a problem where the battery, the lithium polymer battery, creates extra noise when it's put right near or around the audio jack, so that creates a lot of hiss and stuff like that. And one of the ways to alleviate that is to use aluminum tinfoil. Is it aluminum tinfoil or just tinfoil? One of those things. Yeah, it's just like creating insulation from the battery, so that it like stops the noise from happening. Okay, any other questions? Hope everybody is digging the stream. Again, I had a little bit of a connection problem earlier, and it sucked. But, you know, we'll get through it. Things happen. Live streaming is rather difficult, especially when your internet is dodgy. Thank you, James Ross. Thank you for the comment. I appreciate that. So that is pretty much all I wanted to do in the stream. The next project is actually right behind me. It's a on-air sign. It's a 3D printed on-air sign. And it's a sort of collaboration project with Lamar, Lady Ada. She put together a sketch for the M0 Wi-Fi featherboard where it connects to the Twitch API, and it can request to see if somebody is streaming or not. And if it is streaming, it'll light up a pair of NeoPixels. She actually already did a stream on her developing the software for it. And it works really well. So we're going to I'll probably do a live layer by layer on how I put together the enclosure. It is a sort of a simple, yet effective way to make an enclosure. So yeah, I think that's it there. Yeah, that's the next project. It's kind of simpler. It's a lot simpler. It's literally like 3 wires, and you just plug in USB. 5-volt USB power supply into the USB of the feather board, which is right here. This is the Winst thing. So I think it's pretty cool. It's sort of a Internet of Things project, or it's totally an Internet of Things project. And you guys will be able to make it work with any Twitch channel. And in the sketch, it's easy enough. You could just type in whatever channel you want, and it works with Twitch. Maybe we'll do something later where it tells you how many views, like a viewer counter or something like that. So we'll try to do more Internet of Things projects. Oh, cool. Daniel saw the Instagram thing. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. It's sort of like a 50s style enclosure where it has like these fillets on the edges and like these lines and stuff. It's pretty cool. All right, well, I think that's going to be it, folks. Again, I appreciate you guys hanging in there with me on the sort of internet connection problems that we had earlier, but hopefully it's all ironed out. I'll try to do more live streams as I get more time to do them, obviously. But I gotta start taking photos and assembling this project. What I plan to do is, as I'm developing the guide, I want to record a video and showing you all the full build process of this one, because it's simple enough where I can manage taking photos and doing video at the same time. Usually it's kind of a hassle to do it, but hopefully we can get a workflow down where we can do both at the same time, because I really want to show the assembly of it, because I really want this one to be a very approachable project for beginners that want to get into assembling, wiring, soldering, 3D printing, all that good stuff together. So the PiGRRL projects are they're challenging for beginners, but hopefully this one will get people not so intimidated by it, and that's why I'm trying to keep the cost really low. So minimal components and less steps equals more approachable, more easier. I really want to be able to build this in like half of a day for a beginner. So that was the goal for this project. I think that's it. So I'll end the stream now, guys. Again, thank you guys so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next one. We'll try to do some more. But thanks, guys, for coming. Hope everybody enjoys the rest of your Monday and the rest of the week. I'll see you guys later. We'll have actually some more streams today, I think. Yeah, we'll see.